Don't
Well,
talk with my
actually,
hands.
then it because it does begin with you and Abel. So Abel, it is the next morning after you receive the note. Both of you two know what you're supposed to do. Uh,
Just to reiterate here, what we're talking about is night before the note we got that it said that we had to go somewhere. And Abel, who's Abel?
No, I have stage fright.
No. I'm just saying that is Abel right down there.
Should we like introduce?
I reckon I am.
Um, Abel got the note at the bar that we're at saying that the next morning we have to.
We're at the Broken Wheel Inns.
Yes, all the ends are broken wheels. It's okay.
The lovely burg of Phipps.
Is this next morning?
yes,
Is it?
yes.
Okay.
It is the next morning. You are in the town of Phipps, which is just 5 days north of where Abel is supposed to be going. He received a message from a young boy scrawling a sheet of paper telling him what he needed to do.
There's nothing funny about the young boy. I know you're laughing at the young boy. Young boy is very serious, very serious. Trust me, I've spent some time in jail. It is not something you joke about.
So yes, we were getting up and we were heading to the town of Kilpeck to meet my old friend Mayor Ned Grayson.
Nedley something, right? Nedley.
He prefers Ned.
Fair. That's fair. It's good. Okay.
So we're setting off on foot, and it's a 5-day hike. Can we get some rations from the inn?
Yes, you have enough to make it to the 5 days, knowing that it was going to be something you were going to need to go. They provided you with not really iron rations, but just regular kind of rations, which you packed up and ready to go.
I will say this: if I know one thing, being dwarven bard Barmin Horn, if I know one thing, we better make it in 5 days. Otherwise, we are going to die.
Oh, what was the name of the boy? And is he coming back with us?
He didn't give your name, and no, he's not.
He's staying here. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So Matt, like real quick, just for podcast and stuff. I don't know. Should we introduce, or we just hitting the ground running?
We'll just hit the ground running.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so Abel, you know where you're going. I will accompany you as I always do, being your co-worker of some sort. Okay, Barman.
For the next 4 days, it's pretty easy travel. This is something that Abel has done many times. It is pretty much a cart and kind of just a path that circumnavigates and goes around many of the hills. The hills covered with grass. It goes around and through different farms. Some of the hills are fallowed. Other ones have livestock on them. Wave to a number of the shepherds.
There are other towns on this.
There are not right on this path,
Okay.
but the path is kind of circuitous, so it's not like it's not like a road. Many of the times, like this goes around a hill, ends up at a farm, and then you kind of have to go through that farm and then off to another road. This isn't a main highway or road by any stretch of imagination. You're just pretty much making your way through back roads, and since it's kind of a way that you've gone before, you know where you're going. So for the next 4 days, you travel. The weather is pretty nice. It's just beginning to become autumn. It's been clear skies, cloudless, cool in the morning. By the time that it gets to afternoon, it gets warm enough when you're in the sun. But then if you happen to find a copse of trees, then it gets a little cool whenever you're in the shade. But nothing that you need to have any kind of extra clothing or anything for. At the end of the 4th day, like I said, you traveled this. You're getting close to Kilpeck, and that is when you do notice that there's at least one ox-drawn cart which is heading on the same path in your direction.
Heading towards us or heading?
Yes, heading
Okay.
towards you, away from Kilpeck.
I would like to say before this encounter with this other thing that at some point over the last couple of days I probably would have asked Abel. What exactly was in that note? Are you purposefully not telling me? If you are, that's fine. I understand.
Oh,
What,
I assumed we had discussed it already. But I'm more than happy to show you the note, which reads, Abel, I hope this finds you well. There are rumors of threats from the south. I have need of you here, not only because of your just advice, but of some of your unused skills. I need someone I can trust. The local nobility, a good fellow, has a plan in motion, and I can think of no one else that can help me out. Please come at once, Mayor Ness.
okay. Um,
Abel's spoken of.
Yeah, Ned's town of Kilpeck is a well-run town. We hardly ever have to go there. We've been traveling about 2 years now together, farming.
roughly.
We've been there probably twice.
Okay. But it's yeah, usually they take care of their own stuff and you don't have to act as judge as you do in these other towns.
I do when I come there, but I don't have to go as frequently. They don't have
Okay.
as many problems.
So they don't need the outside law that you provide as much. Okay, I remember. Of course I remember that now. What should we do about this cart that's showing up?
Say hello to the cart. Is it approaching it's being drawn by an ox?
Yes, but as it approaches, you realize that there's an ox-drawn cart, and there's a male which is driving the cart. Behind it, also following, are like three other, well, you guess families, three other carts, but those three carts are all being drawn by somebody. Like they're they're handheld carts, so they're not nearly as large. And the people, the other members of the family, they're just walking.
They appear to be village folk.
Yes. Yeah,
Carts appear to be laden with all their worldly possessions.
they do. They look like they have household goods, barrels, and boxes of grain.
Well, when we get into close enough to talk to them, I ask where they're headed and are they moving? How are things in Kilpeck?
The ox drawn one, which is in the front. They pretty much stop and allow you to come forward and say hi. As a matter of fact, he recognizes you and he says, "Well, hello there, Judge," and says, "Moving with the family. We're leaving."
Do I remember them at all?
No, not specifically, but
Do I think they're from Kilpeck?
yes.
Okay. I ask, well, how are things in Kilpeck? I'm headed that way myself.
It says that things are fine. There's nothing going on there. They've heard the rumors that there's threats from the south, that there's been some sort of invasion. He happens to have family that lives in Omani just across the border, and said that he's not taking any chances and he's leaving the downlands and going to where he believes it's safe.
Okay. Well, I wish him well, and I'll continue on.
Okay. You guys continue. The road into Kilpeck. Not much else happens. By the time you get towards there, you remember that Kilpeck is a village of about 20 buildings. There's a central road. Kilpeck itself lies about 8 miles north of the Crissell Lake. That is one of the two large lakes which dominate the center part of this Principality of Mortul. And it would be the easternmost lake, the larger of the two. It's about 8 miles north of that. Also within Kilpeck, there is a large central green, a grass green area right in the center. And the main building is the inn. And there's a sign out front which actually pronounces the inn. And it's a three-story building, mostly brown wood with white panels. By the time you make it into the city itself, there's erected is a large tent. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, as we're coming into town, that I'm going to remind the judge that I don't know if any of these people remember me or what I may have done beforehand or what they may have known. So I'm probably going to stay quiet and let you find out where they're from. Just as we do. Not saying that I have any reason to think that these people have anything against me, but I don't have any reason to think that they don't. So, following your lead as usual, Judge.
Thanks, Barman. I would just I'm going to head to the mayor's house.
Okay. Let me finish describing that.
Okay.
Yeah, his house is kind of near the inn, but also right near the inn. The outside. I'm sorry. There's a huge tent which has been erected. It's a 2-mast tent. The side walls of the tent are up so that you can see underneath, and there is a large mass of people within the tent. There's a bunch of crates, barrels, and parked all around the outside of this tent are carts, and all those carts have just the villagers are all moving stuff from inside the tent and packing up these carts. They're being packed up with household goods, foodstuffs,
So
everything that you've seen, like on the
like the people we met on the road.
yeah.
Okay.
If you
Screaming child somewhere.
yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
If there are, you go through, you see the inn, and not too far from the inn, you know that's where the mayor's house is. It's kind of a modest, small 1-story house which is nearby. Looking towards it, you realize that it doesn't appear that anybody's there. If you'd like to knock on it.
Yes, I would.
Okay. You're familiar with the mayor and his wife, and nobody's at home. Nobody answers.
Okay. I guess I will head towards the inn, Barmin in tow.
Okay.
Should
I'm
we?
gonna take a glance at the tent. Do I see who's like coordinating that? I recognize anybody in there?
No, not right now. If anything was being done, it would either in a public forum either be inside the tent or it'd be inside the inn. And the main entrance to the inn is actually kind of underneath the tent. So the tent kind of comes up all the way to the main entrance to the inn. So if you need to go,
So we'll have to walk through the tent.
you'll have to walk through the tent to get.
Well, then I will enter the tent.
Okay. Nobody necessarily stops and says anything. You do get a few nods of, "Hey, how you doing?" They're recognizing you. But it is definitely that this was some sort of festival they're just finished, and they're in the process of loading up and breaking everything down and putting stuff into carts. And you can go directly towards the inn if you'd like.
So this was a festival?
It was a festival, and you know that this time of year there always is a festival here, but this wasn't so much a festival as it was kind of an announcement.
Okay.
Kind of like a big gathering in which they fed a lot of people.
The announcement's over.
And the announcement appears to be over,
Okay.
and they're kind of breaking down what was going on.
So then I'll head on into the inn.
Upon entering the inn, immediately Ned stands up. Ned Grayson, the mayor, stands up, claps his hands together, and says, "Able, I'm so glad you were able to make it so quickly. I'm sorry that I had to ask you to come here as fast as you could, but I'm glad you were able to." And then he looks and says, Barman, and shakes Barman's hand, surprised that you remember your name.
Came here as quick as we could, Ned. What's going on?
Well, he says, "Well, have a seat. We're just getting ready to discuss things." Inside, this is a large common room, which is just typical of any kind of inns. There's a number of chairs and tables. Not all are being taken up. There are, there's several men and women in here. Ned goes around the room and just pretty much introduces and so tells the entire room, "Everybody, I'm sorry we had to wait, but this is Able. He's a friend of mine, and he's one of the justice that works in this area. I've asked him here." And then he points out, he says, "Seated over there, that is Willard Maldamas, and Willard is definitely the noble. He's the one that's looks noblish. He's 30s.
He's got better clothes than the rest of us.
Yeah, he's somewhere in his 30s. He's tall. He's a large built man, but he's also got kind of a large gut. He's got long black hair pulled back into a ponytail. He's extremely plain looking. He does stand up and shakes your hand, and when he speaks, he's got a very clear, distinct, almost authoritative voice, and he's like, "It's glad to meet you." You know, it definitely projects authority when he speaks, not necessarily when you look at him. Willard then turns around and says, some of the people that are seated, he says, "These are my advisors. This is Cormac, this is Fergus, this is Kelvin, Griff, and Juita, who's one of the females. Fergus and Griff are also two people that are wearing chainmail. About the room, then Ned turns about and points to someone that's sitting kind of by themselves and off near the fireplace and says, "This is a guy that's been helping me out. His name is Folkher. Also, she just arrived, and I didn't even catch her friend's name, but this is Anya. She's here to speak with Willard, and that's the extent of everybody. Oh, and then coming back from outside of the bar, you recognize Mazal, which is Ned's wife.
So I greet everybody warmly.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. So,
Hello.
please, he beckons you to have. Ned says, "Please have a seat."
I take a seat.
So, Willard sits forward. Everyone is here. Willard sits forward and says, "All right. So what I want to have happen is Cormac, you're going to go east. I need you to go over and check with Nergals and see if you can conscript from anything from over in Nergala. Fergus, you're going to be escorting us. We're going to be taking Ned, myself, and Fergus. We're going to be escorting all the people to the Lolalote. Anybody like to make a history check?
I could.
I think Barmin, you need to make a history check.
I would probably. I will make a history check. Sorry, my.
So Fergus is escorting Ned, Willard,
Mhm.
and the people.
Yes.
Like I assume he mean or left
Yes.
outside. Okay.
Everybody outside being escorted toward the Lolalote.
Lololot. All right, here's history check. I have rolled. Sorry, my thing's real slow.
Roll the 12.
Yes, I rolled a magical 12. I've heard of the place, talked about in stories 3 times removed.
What you know of the Lolalote is that it's kind of just an outer edge of the forest nearby.
Okay.
You turn down all these notifications. Can y'all hear every time those things go off?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was just mine. I'll just take phone and throw in the back. Okay. The Lololot. It's the Lololot is town on the outside of forest, you say?
No, the Lolalote is actually the outer edge of the forest.
Got you. Is it like a pasture or a farm?
As far as you know right now, that's just all you can remember
Okay.
about it.
Okay.
Willard continues and then says, "Kelvin, you're going to travel to the Telmarch," and then he points towards Griff and says, "You need to travel due east to Griffinbow, and then south. You need to travel due east to Grinbow, and then south to Belgriff. I know that you have cousins there." Griff nods, and then Joita, she says yes, and then he says, "What I need you to do is I need you to start organizing some of these farmers to go and harvest." Everybody is pretty much leaving, and this is Willard's not saying this, but you gather that this is about the time of the harvest. So we're getting into autumn, and all these farmers are picking up and have taken what they have in their silos, picking up all the the fruits, the vegetables, the meats, and the livestock that they have, and they're just heading out and they're leaving. But
Master Maldamus, do you mind if I ask a question?
oh, go ahead.
What are all these preparations being made for? I was told to come here about some rumors, but that's all I've heard.
Well, what we've heard is that there has been an invasion to the south. And one of the biggest problems that we have right now is that we cannot confirm the fact that it's happened.
An invasion of what? By who?
Invasion of the downlands. And that's pretty much what we have. And we do not know by whom. So one of the big things is that we're getting is just we've gotten a couple refugees that have come from the south telling us that this has happened, but I mean, if an invasion had happened, we don't have enough information. We don't know what's going on. We just hearing these rumors, and we have heard that there have been rumors that Omani has invaded, and we don't know if that's true either. Whenever he mentions that Omani's invaded, there's a number of some of the people, especially in Chamo, slam their fist down, and like there's old bad blood between the Downlands and Omani.
Well, we're talking about the Empire invading. They have not had an interest in the Downlands in quite some time. Like that would be a pretty big move.
The only thing that we can surmise, and we're just speculating, is that if this invasion from the south, if this is some sort of foreign power, if this is something that there's a land grab or a resource grab, that Omani has to respond in kind.
Does anybody, and I'll turn this to the entire table, like who would be invading from the south? What people live down there? I just know the sea. I just know the seafaring, the coastline, but that's as far as the Downlands goes.
Yeah. Cormac stands up and says, Cormac kind of stands up, leans forward and says, as far as I know, and as far as I've heard, we don't know, and I don't know who would invade. The southern coasts are notoriously patrolled and guarded by the dwarves. Their port cities on the southern coast are some of the most guarded and prized possessions that they own. I mean, since they've started building their ships and sailing, that's unknown as to who would invade and where it would come from. The southern coast is bifurcated in that there's a large mountain range, volcanic mountain range directly south of Mortul, that it would have to either be to the east or to west of the Downlands, and towards the east there's the three capital cities of the dwarven port cities, but where there could be a landing or where they would come in, we don't know.
The guy sitting by himself clears his voice a little bit. He's human, just wearing regular kind of common clothes and whatnot. He's a little bit older, graying at the temples. He kind of clears his throat a little bit, gets a little bit of attention. And, you're talking about the Guzak. You're talking about coming through the mountain range down there.
Fergus says, no, I don't think anybody would survive coming through there.
Well, there ain't nothing else down there between those two landings.
I said it could. I mean, there could be down there near, let's see, where is this? Yeah, there's the very southern part of Fulstead. There's the Wolfgen Port, which is not a dwarven stronghold. There is a main road which comes straight up from Wolfgen Port, straight north up to Sheddendale, right there on the border of Mortul and Fulstead. I said I don't know. I don't believe that the dwarves would allow an invasion to come through there. Nobody has ever done that before, and we're not quite sure who would have the ships to do that.
Yeah, but the stuff you're talking about is impassable.
Well, I mean, there's a road that goes straight up that way up into Mortul. I mean, it hits Bailgriff, which is where I'm sending Griff, or he doesn't say it. Cormac doesn't say that. That's Willard ended up saying, yeah, that's where I'm sending Griff, is to go down to Bailgriff to find out and see if any of his relatives know what the hell's happening down there.
Pardon me. Started by the fire. What was your name again?
Folkher.
Who or what is a Guzak?
The Guzak Brisk. It's past the Lololult down there. It's mountains, trees. I mean, you heard
In the central highlands here, this is known as the Guzak Brisk. You guys are right up in here.
No,
I'm sorry. It's reversed. I'm sorry. So yeah, you guys are right up in here. This whole area here in the central part of Mortul is very, very sharp hills, crags, and just extremely dense forest hill area, which then leads into the mountains. The outer edge of that is known as the Lololot. The inner part is known as the Guzak Brisk, which is just people do not go then come back. The outer edge is slightly dangerous, and some people go and harvest lumber and forest goods from the outer edge, but much further than a mile interior of the forest edge, and then you start getting into Guzak Brisk, which is a place that not many people return from.
I mean, you said you know the shore, so you maybe haven't heard the stories, but it's a place no man goes. At least no man comes back from. Forest so thick that you just can't see a man in front of you. He takes 2 steps.
It does not sound like a pleasant place that anyone would like to spend time. I've seen the coastline from ships, but I have not. I would have no desire to ever go there. It would take a lot to get me to go there, but for some reason, I have really shitty feeling like someone's about to ask us to go there. That's just a whim.
Master Dwarf, I do believe he just told us we were heading to the Lololol. When we go there,
Willard speaks up and says, "If I may, let me finish with Juita here. Juita, and he once again explains to her that she is going to be going around with a group of farmers and harvesting, and then bringing stuff. Willard says that he and Ned are going to be taking the carts with Fergus, and they're going to go west to Cressell Lake and then south into the Lololot. And then you happen to know that in the Lololot, at least some of you know, there are several villages that have kind of been historically a hideout. During the time when Omani did invade, or when orc tribes from the north made it far south, or when anybody give these farmers trouble, the farmers headed into the Lololot, and there were small villages in which they were able to survive until the bandits or the threats had passed. And that's where they're doing it once again. They're heading into the part of the forest that they consider safest, so that they can wait and assess the threat. And that's where Willard, Ned, and Fergus are going to go. Kelvin stands up and says, I've heard one thing though. I hate to even bring it up, but I've heard rumors that humanoids and goblins have made it this far north. Cormac, Kelvin, Griff all kind of just laugh at him and smirk and laugh and just tell them that, why are you scared of like women's stories? Like, these are children's and bedtime stories. Like, humanoids, demi-humans have not been seen this far north in very long time. So that it's actually preposterous.
Sorry, really fast. You say north, this far north. So they did come from the mountains on the southern coast?
there have been sightings and hearing of some that have been in the Guzak Brisk, but the fact is that
They were
none,
just old wives' tales. That's all.
yes, old wives' tales and such. Most of the, and this is old ancient history for Omani, or the Mani Empire in this whole area. Most of the demi-humans have been pushed way far north past the Elven Plains. And then there's just small little pockets that may have survived in the Guzak Brisk, but nobody goes in, nobody comes out. It's never been a problem. So nobody believes that any demi-human would be anywhere seen near here, and they kind of chide him just a little bit for the fact that he even brings it up.
Um, I believe you,
Um,
dim humans. I believe that.
Who is that?
I'm sorry, who are you?
Hi, Anyu's friend. I guess. You see a short female human, black hair, wearing a very tattered green cloak. I don't laugh at him. It's possible.
And I mean, I hate to. I'd hate to laugh at a stranger that I've never seen, but I mean, how would you? Did you read a book? Did you see one?
Read
I mean,
a couple books, but okay. I've seen him
Oh, that's okay. Where? I mean, where have you seen him?
up north. Anya, this was before we met. What was the town that Matt told me?
Who is Matt, and why did your voice just change?
It was near Dandon.
Yeah, that's right.
I just promised me. I've seen signs of goblin kind, I guess.
Goblins.
Okay, I mean that's a fairly it's a fairly populated area. There's I mean populated for this area, but farms. There's I don't know of any ruins or mines or anything in that area. There's plenty of farms and good people. And has anybody else reported anything?
Honestly, since seeing him, this is the first time I've heard anybody else talk about it. I was kind of not convinced what I saw was real.
How long ago was this?
It was a handful of days at this point, nearly a week. Anya, how long we've been? A couple days together?
It's been a few days, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I'm sorry I had spoken up about that before. Head's been in a fog since, I guess.
it's been a long few days.
It sounds very drastic. We were supposed to go east, and we ended up going south, so we experienced some troubles too. I can understand.
It's sounding like everything's encroaching from all the directions.
Is
Willard kind of looks around and sees that his advisors, these guys are a little antsy, and perhaps they're getting a little they don't know who these strangers or who all these people are, and he looks about and kind of says, listen, okay, I've given you guys what you need to do, so why don't we go ahead and get started, and I'm going to go ahead and you guys go ahead and get started on what tasks you're supposed to do. Cormac, Fergus, Kelvin, Griff, Joita, they all pretty much get up and shake hands with Willard, and then summarily just kind of march out. Kelvin and Cormac kind of pat Fergus on the back and something like, goblins, and you got the little girl started with goblins again, and then their voices kind of trail away as they exit. Ned that stands forward and kind of comes forward, and he's like, speaks a few words with Willard. They talk amongst themselves, and then Willard kind of nods at Ned, and then gives everybody a nod and says, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to head out. Ned speaks for me whenever he he asks you, and I appreciate in advance. And then he goes ahead and he leaves. The room is distinctly, I mean, it's still it's a large room, and now all of a sudden you've got it's half empty, and so the only people that are left are just you guys and Ned and Marzal, who's kind of walking around, also listening to what's going on. Ned then talks, and he specifically kind of almost addresses Able, and he says, "So Willard's asked me to put together a group, and I thought that you could do some scouting for us. What I need to know, yeah, go ahead."
I'm a judge, Ned. Why do you think I could do scouting?
Well, frankly, it's because I can't necessarily trust anybody else. We've all got tasks to do, and I trust you amongst more than anything else to tell me what is going on to the south. I mean, you do have other skills, like you're not just a judge. I know that you served, and
That didn't end so well for me, Ned.
well, but I trust your opinion and I trust your judgment, and I don't have anybody else necessarily that I could really trust to go south and find out what's going on.
I appreciate your faith and trust in me, but I don't know that this is my, kind of thing. What exactly are you wanting done?
I just need reports. That's all I need. And I have Folkher here. He's been working for me for a little bit. He's gone out. He's done some errands, and he knows the lays of the land. He's not familiar with this land specific, but he's good in the woods. He's good at tracking. He's good at finding things. And I just need your judgment, and I need your eyes to go and see what's happening. And I'm going to have, hopefully, and then he turns to, I'm sorry, how do you say your name, Angie? You say it?
It's Anyu.
Anyu. He turns to Anyu, and he actually mispronounces it at first. He says, Anya, and then you say Anyu. He's like, okay, I'm sorry about that. Anyu here was supposed to seek out Willard, and Willard vouched for her, and he says, "I'm sorry I spoke, but I was hoping maybe you could go along too." Willard vouched for her. He actually knows the white right gauntlets of Torm. He was very close. He had a very close friend named Talon Stallwood that was of the right gauntlet. He served with him during some of the troubles at the Omani border, and says that they're very, very trustworthy and good people to have on your side. And I was hoping, and he looks to Anyu and says, I'm kind of hoping that you would accompany my friend Able here. And before I go any further, you will be paid. Willard has made that very clear that you will be paid for your services.
In advance, correct?
No, he didn't come here bringing all of his treasures. So he's going to be having some stuff brought to the Lola Load. All I ask is that you go 2 weeks. Just travel about a week south and then come back to us at the Lola Load and report what you found.
I can do this.
We're in the inn, correct?
Yes, you're in the inn.
I get up from the table and I go get a stiff drink from the bar.
You don't even have to go fully to the bar. As soon as you kind of get up and walk that way, Marzal, his wife, goes and hands you one and then kind of pats you on the shoulder and gives you a warm smile, knowing that you're being asked of a lot.
It seems like there's very important things going on. If there are any letters you would like sent to Omani, I'll be happy to deliver them when I go that direction. And I hope that you guys, are safe on your way, because this sounds like fucking madness. The dwarf stands up and he's not wearing it.
Sit down, barman.
He sits right back down.
That's funny.
Interesting. Hey, Honoa,
She chokes a bit on her mead. Yeah. Yeah?
this is kind of not, kind of to the side,
Yeah,
out
aside.
of character.
Oh, okay.
Look, I'm gonna do this because I don't have many other options right now. But you don't need to feel obligated.
I don't know what else I would do, to be honest. I've kind of just been following you around like a lost dog, and I think I'm gonna. I don't know. I think I want to keep doing that because if I lost you at this point, I don't know where I'll go. I don't know these people. I don't think I should be going back home yet.
No, that's probably not wise.
I promise I'm not going to be a burden on you. I'm very grateful for the help you've been giving me, and I'd like to pay it back. To be perfectly honest.
Well, I was in the right place at the right time for you.
You really
And
were.
I think I was sent there for a reason. You can take care of yourself. I just
will do
don't
my best.
want to see you get hurt.
I mean, if I get hurt and fall, maybe it's time I stay down. I don't know, but
No, never stay down.
I'm gonna stick with you if you'll have me. Okay.
We have an accord.
Cheers.
Absolutely.
Ned also speaks to Abel once again, and it's begins soft, but then he kind of talks loud enough so that at least other people can kind of hear. And he also says, he seems a little sheepish about that. He goes, we also hired the Crimson Brothers to bring back a pair of starry-eyed lovers that had left, and they were supposed to be back about a month ago, and they have not returned either.
Out of character, would I know who the Crimson Brothers are?
Same.
Make history rolls.
Oh, okay.
Both of us?
Sure.
Okay.
I rolled a 2.
And you
Oh. I rolled a 4 on my history roll.
no,
No.
nothing comes to mind exactly.
Well, then I asked him, who are the Crimson Brothers?
I mean, I've heard of them. Just an adventuring party of. I mean, their names are pretty well known.
Oh, that's probably
All
why I
I've
don't know them.
heard.
They're not prone to vigilante justice, are they, Ned?
No, not at all. They've done us many favors in the past. They're frequent. They frequent this area, and most of them are Tool. We had.
So you've lost another adventuring party, Ned?
Yeah. Well, we have not heard from them. You know the Cardos, and you actually do. Laura Cardo. Her family owns like 40 sheep out this area, and they have 2 of the large breeding steers.
Oh, those Cardos.
Yeah. Well, she and Florian, who's a boy from a neighboring village, kind of. I guess they fell in love and they ran off. And the Cardos are wealthy people and came to me and wanted to know if there was anybody that was around that could bring their daughter back safe.
Was she kidnapped?
No, she
Did she
wasn't.
leave against her own will?
No, she did not.
Is there
As
any
far as- as
law
far
in
as-
this town for leaving?
She's 15. So she's of
No, so he's dead.
I
I went to war at 14, so what's the problem?
Well, the family just wanted her back. So they were willing to pay, and the Crimson Brothers happened to have been around, and we hired them to go bring her back.
Sounds like one-third daughter job.
No, they headed south as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
They left a little over a month ago. Additionally, Laura's brother, Basil, he was conscripted in the army by Willard, and he deserted to go find his sister. So he's also gone, and he's been gone for a couple weeks.
Oh,
That
boy.
kind of shit tickles Abel's spots. You don't. The dessert thing is a big deal.
Yeah, what is the legal ramifications of deserting? This is out of character. My character would know.
Yes. That truly depends on the terms of the conscription. Desertion, whenever you sign up on one kind of thing, just means that you get a bad name. Desertion in the face of imminent war is penalty of death. And it depends also on the noble, and they kind of decide the punishment. But it is definitely a tough offense. I mean, it's never an easy
So
thing.
Willard wants him back, I assume.
Willard does want him back, but he did not ask me to do that. I was just letting you know that it is
Someone
something
else that's out there.
Someone else that's out there that he's gone after his sister Laura, and he broke a few rules to go do so by deserting the conscription.
I hate to be the voice, but you mentioned that there would be payment. What is there a number, or is it just like a handshake and a stiff drink, or?
He did mention payment. I did not think to ask like specifically how much. But if I were to say how much that I would give you an educated guess, I would think it'd be around the lines of about 20 to 25 gold.
Go-
Is that each? Oh, that is
Yes,
each.
that's for each person.
Oh,
No, I'm sorry. You said gold?
gold.
Yes.
Not not
Yes,
silver. We're
we-
talking gold.
No, gold. We understand that there's a risk involved, and that you this may not be directly like exactly what you guys have all trained for your entire lives or what you do, but trust me that all I want you to do is just go about a week's south. That should get you at least past somewhere along the lines of the Odura River, and about in that area, and just kind of see what's going on. Tell us if any of these rumors are true. And he then kind of shakes his head and says, like, listen, I don't expect you to follow up on the goblins. No offense.
It's
young
true
lady,
though.
it's just, I mean, I'm sure you may have
I mean, I think I saw a lot of things, but
I understand. It just, I mean, there would be like for that kind of thing just to be known, it would have to be, you'd have to like prove it. I mean, so
Either way, you
I
saw
don't
him up north, right? We're heading south. So
Yeah.
you might have seen him, but that doesn't mean we're gonna run into him.
that's very true. So
I'm gonna make a roll to see if I want to make a decision. I rolled a 1.
Oh,
No.
here
Well,
we go.
You rolled a
I
2
think-
minus 1. You didn't roll a natural.
Yeah, right. I think I'm gonna make the bad decision. I'm gonna take out my bag. I'm gonna start rifling through it, pulling things out, and you'll start to smell something. And I pull out this goblin head,
Oh dear lord!
Oh my god.
really decayed.
yeah. She does
Guys,
pull out a
that's my
goblin.
sign.
The entire room is pretty much kind of stunned into silence as it is horrible smelling.
I
And
shout out a preemptive, sit down, Barmin.
I'm like literally like right behind you as you say that, and I'm like, okay. I was like, are you sure that's not just like a little old halfling or something?
Want to look at it? I mean, it's not green because it's rotted. It's green because it's green.
Oh my god, that's dreadful.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that enough proof, Mayor Grayson?
yeah, how
Proof
did
that
you?
Where the hell did you find that?
Up
You
north,
didn't
it's
even-
abandoned.
In our bag.
In my bag.
It just appeared in your bag? Did someone try to get you smuggling goblin heads?
No, I mean, I did it. I pull up my dagger and show it's still kind of crusty and all bloody because I don't know how to clean a knife.
So, like, did you have like wax paper or like newspaper or some parchment in there?
No,
Or
my bag's pretty well fucked.
I try to take Honoa's dagger from her gently and start cleaning it with whatever I can find on the table.
I get another
That's how you
drink.
do
I join
I-
him in getting a drink.
that? I apologize if this unsettles constitutions. I would not have pulled this out in front of a whole group of people. That would have been mass hysteria. But it's true, though. As you can see,
so, should we like be like fucking honored or something? I don't understand what you're
I
saying.
don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I just made a really bad choice.
I think as part of a scouting mission, we should all be prepared for everything possible, and now we have proof that there is another possibility.
I don't want to keep this, by the way. I'm just going to start pushing the goblin head forward.
Well, what the hell do you want us to do with it?
Ned is certainly come around and is like, oh yeah, that's a goblin head.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think that I will go and tell them when I go meet them that you produced some evidence of the
Would
case.
you like to take it?
Yeah, please
Um,
take it off this table. We just
actually-
want it. We don't need it here
Why
anymore.
don't you?
sorry.
Why don't you
No,
give him the bag and let him take bag? You do not.
But I
know
need
shit.
the bag.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I
We'll
do.
find you another bag.
I don't.
Could you?
you
Would you? I turned to the barman. You got a sack back there?
Wait, the barman or barman?
The
The
barman.
barman.
It
not
happens.
the
It happens a lot. It's okay.
I turned to the innkeep. You got an old potato sack back there or something we could take off your hands?
I spent good money on this bag.
Well, it's
Yeah.
for the head.
Well, this is why you can't have
Oh.
nice things.
My bag.
I don't
My
want her
bag.
carrying. I don't think we want this man parading a severed head through town.
Should we keep part of it for more proof in case we need proof more?
Ned says, I don't think that would be necessary. I think it's we've
That's a
we've
little
got enough
weird.
we've got enough witnesses now. I mean, no offense, I am mayor of this town, and we do have Able as a judge, and I think that our word should be good enough now.
That's
Um,
true.
And also, I'm a notary public, so I might, as a witness, I
What's
kind of.
that?
It means that stuff I see is pretty true. So, there's that. Also,
I see a lot of things that did.
I one time saw like someone hang a pig. That was before we showed up.
But
Terrible time to robot.
But it didn't roll out on screen, guys. Roll with it.
Oh,
Okay, very
but I
good.
still don't know what he said.
but I still don't know what it said.
And that's why I think that.
Oh, okay. Very
And,
well.
and that's
So
all I
this
have to say
goblin-
about
That
that.
really cleared things up. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad.
Okay.
Either
Well,
way,
before
we
Ned
open
gets
this-
up to leave, I tell him, I guess I'm in. I can't say that I'm looking forward to this, but I'll do it.
He actually gets very sincere, puts his hand on your shoulder, and is like, I wouldn't ask if I didn't think, one, you could do it, or two, that it was that important that I needed to help from you. And I
Heard that before, Ned.
I appreciate you coming, and I mean, this potentially could be the saving of this entire village.
Heard that one before too, Ned.
All right, okay. So Willard has provided. He's taken most of the iron and everything to conscript and to give to the conscripts, but he did leave a number of things. If you guys need to go rummage through, and he kind of points off to the corner, and there's a large crate that's got a number of just different weapons stacked into
Was
it.
Ned leaving right now?
There's a whole bunch. No, he's assisting the bar guy with getting the sack and putting the head into the sack, and then he's takes that sack and says, "I think I'm going to go show this to some people," and I'll be
Be
back in a
careful
second.
with it.
So,
One,
Yes.
one sec, Mayor Grayson.
yes, sir.
You pointed out some items over there that we can kind of sort through and take what we need.
Yes.
I could use a few bits for my leatherworking set. We're going to be on the road for 2 weeks. If something gets messed up, I'd like to be able to fix it. You know someone who's got old tools lying about or something we can take with us?
He mentions he mentions the place inside. Said that it normally in the general store. It said, but as far as he knows, the guy's packing up everything, and everybody is pretty much taking their stuff and leaving. He says, by the time you get back to the Lolo load, we should have been there for just about a week, and by the time you get back there, we should be able to take stock and be able to at least see what we can do, whether we give you some stuff or sell some things. But at this point, he's like, I just don't know what we have and where and
No,
where it
fair,
would even
fair,
possibly
fair
be.
enough. Just figured I'd ask. Well, all right, everyone. What
He
time
says,
what time-
you guys think about this. I'm gonna go show this, and he walks out
So what,
of the end.
when is it? Like, what is it? Is it noon? Is it evening? Is it?
Yeah,
morning?
it's just about an hour after noon. You guys haven't eaten lunch. The what do you call it? The feast and stuff for those of you that were here. You guys ate breakfast this morning, as I detailed in like your letters that you had in the morning. The two new arrivals, Barmin and Able, have not had food yet, and all this talking and stuff has pretty much gone to. You realize that you're kind of hungry at this point, and trying to decide what's going on.
So did Ned leave?
Yes, Ned left. Marzal is still there, and she's getting ready to leave. If you need to ask her anything,
Which one was Merzal again?
that's Ned's
That's
wife.
why.
Ned's wife. And additionally in here is the barman. The bar
Yes.
person, right?
Yeah,
The barkeep.
what is the bar person's name?
Oh,
Or
well, if you
mom.
no, I mean you need to go up and go ask.
Well, I
You
just
can talk
figure.
about-
I mean, I figure I've been in town for a while. I would know. So I could,
yeah, his name is Nash.
Nash. So I'm gonna go up to Nash and say, "Hey, Nash, uh, these new fellas ain't had anything to eat yet. Might be a good thing for us to get some of the stew you got back there if you got it, and let us sit down and chat."
Nash says, well, you're the only guys in here. Are you guys good on drinks? And I can go out and pick off some stuff from the that's being packed up, some of the old festival things. I can bring it back in.
Yes,
I'd like-
we're very good on drinks. We do not need any more drinks. Thank you very much.
Okay.
That's very kind of you.
I think he wants more drinks.
No, we're good. We're good. We're fine.
I think
Okay.
he wants more.
So Nash is like, okay, and then
I'm good.
so then he runs out, grabs a serving tray, just like a big battered metal serving tray, runs out and says, I'll be right back with some food.
As soon as he leaves, and as soon as Ned has left too, I'm making a hard look at Abel, and I'm like, you're not seriously thinking about doing this, right? Like, that's crazy. You know that, right? Like, you're like a justice of the peace, pretty much, and like I put stamp on papers. Like, we're going to fucking die out there. This is insane. We shouldn't do this. This is terrible. We should leave. We should go. We should head to Omani or Greyholm or Temple, someplace east.
Saying this
Are you
out,
saying this
like-
loud enough for us?
Yeah.
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
yeah, of course, yeah.
Wait, are you are you?
You make good. You
Wait,
make good
no.
bird noises.
I've been around a few chickens.
Cool.
Abel? Was it?
Yes, sir.
You're Justicar.
I'm the justice of the peace for this region.
Oh.
And
he's-
when he says that, or when I say that, you just ever so subtly pull back a little bit. Like I've been fairly open and amiable, but when I hear that, I'm just a little more reserved, like physically, just slightly.
If I notice that, I will reply, don't worry about your poaching. Sounds like we got bigger troubles today.
Make a perception check.
All right.
I'm not trying to hide it. It's just a subtle thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's subtle enough that
I rolled a 13 on my perception check.
you do notice his subtle withdrawal of his body actions, that he when he hears that, and he actually does kind of come forward and says something, and then it's like, oh, justice of the peace.
No, but
Do I have any insight into his reaction?
Um,
Okay.
no.
But when you say
Don't know.
but
I
when-
don't know if you know.
But when you say exactly what you just said,
Yes.
I do visibly relax.
Okay.
In response to that.
I return Honoa's hopefully cleaner dagger now.
Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't mention much earlier to you, Anyu.
I'm surprised I didn't smell that.
It was pretty bad, wasn't it?
So I ask if everyone's agreed that we're going on this journey, all the 5 of us.
nope,
Yeah, Barman.
nope.
Barman, we're going.
No, hold on,
Anyu,
hold
I
on.
go where you go.
Hold on. Let's just take a step back here. So we have so the Honoa, is that your name?
Honoa.
What we have obviously Able. Able is very capable. He's
Able is not capable.
you're fine. You're very you're anyway. And then we've got woodsy person. Like, so I mean, I can tell from the smell of you that you, I mean, I don't mean it bad. I don't mean it bad, but you obviously smell like you know your way around the woods. It's a compliment. I'm not trying to be mean. Ladies, what do you, Honoa and Anyu, like, what skills do you have? What's your background here?
Well, as of a few days ago, I was a baker's assistant.
Oh, see, this will be a great trip. Nothing will go bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll do my best.
But do your best to what? Like, make us loaves of bread? Like,
Yeah. And I don't know.
Barman, go ahead and make a history check.
have I heard of this bread before?
You are
Yes.
Whoa!
You know it intimately.
with your what? What'd you get?
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 22 history.
As you say these kinds of things, as you're talking about that, you do slightly remember that Willard gave a good thumbs up to Anyu because of the white right gauntlet, which you certainly remember having heard of them throughout history as a militant military clergy order that played a significant role in some of the skirmishes and establishing order of the Almani Empire.
Okay, so maybe Anyu has a little bit of skill, obviously part of this order, but
And in response to his question, I just put my old mace on the table a little bit and just say, no, not aggressively, but just to show that I have it. Say, I am trained to keep people safe.
I'm learning.
I pull Barman to the side. We're gonna have a little conversation.
oh shit.
I tell Barman that he's right. This does sound insane, and I don't know. 2 years ago, I wouldn't have even considered doing this, but this seems like something that's gonna wreck law and order in this region if it's for real. So I feel like I need to find out. But he's right. That you don't owe me anything, Barman. You free to go where you want to go.
You and I both know that's bullshit. If it were not for you, I'd be hanging from a tree right now. I fucking owe you something. I mean, fuck. I will go where you go, of course. But
I'll make you this promise. We'll get, as soon as we figure out what we need to find out, we'll get out of there as quickly and quietly as possible.
I will say this: I will accompany you to the best of my ability. But I mean, you know me. I will fucking run.
I do.
I will not. First sign, we run away. We don't fight. That's a terrible idea. As we are going on a scouting mission where there is invading armies in a region where nobody walks out of. Cheers.
With really fast, even though they pulled aside, with a passive perception of 16, unless they're specifically trying to be secretive, I should be able to hear this stuff, right?
Yeah, there's not. You don't have too much trouble in whether you hear it or you get the gist of it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a large box in the corner.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
looking
well,
over that.
I
Look
want to
at
go
that.
look at that.
Yeah,
these
I want to
two pairs of people want to have their little secretive conversations. I'm going to go for gear. So
I'm gonna go behind the bar while the barkeep isn't there, and I'm gonna see if there's any bottles that'll fit in my bag.
But make a stealth check behind there. Make a stealth check.
This is gonna be great.
what did you get?
I've got like a delay on my thing, so I don't want
Yeah.
to click it. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yes, I fall behind the bar or something.
You got a 5 on his stealth.
Yeah, with your stealth of 5, you begin to get behind the bar, and it does have one of those things that go down the the countertop, and you start lifting on that and realize that it's locked, and it's you're kind of shaking that, and then coming in carrying a large plate of food, Nash says, "Did you want food, or were you going to just go get drinks from behind the bar?"
No, I was getting silverware. I thought that we were going to need some silverware for the food. I just thought I'd grab some. I thought you probably had it behind the bar next to the plates and stuff. So I figured I'd grab some silverware.
Okay. So he comes and sets the plate of food down, which consists of. I mean, there's some of these others have had this before, but there's a really good nut loaf, which some of the people have had before. It's a nut laden loaf. There are at least a dozen boiled eggs, and then there is this small little spattering of these fish, which give off kind of like a little vinegary pickled smell. And there's probably maybe 20 of those little bitty fish. They're only about the size of like a pinky, just laid there. And then there's a couple other things. What do you call it? There's a salted ham, just some slabs of salted ham, and he places that down. And then when he sets that down and starts walking towards you, Barman, you realize that this guy is wiry and looks like he's got some muscles. And you notice that both of his hands, his knuckles, are quite bruised and a little bit of swollen. Meaning, yeah.
Oh, I know what that means.
Okay. So he just kind
he
of
should
walks.
be heading south.
You've been beaten many times in the past.
He seems like he should be exploring to the south and doing some scouting. He looks like he's pretty capable.
What's in the box?
I quickly eat 6 hard-boiled eggs, 10 fish.
I call
and
the fish.
ham.
I'm a little more interested in what's in the box because
Yes,
What's in the box?
Hanoa and
What's
I
in the
are gonna go
box?
look at the supplies we have optioned for.
Sure. The first thing that you guys notice within the box is that there are no fully metal weapons. There are no swords, of long swords or short swords.
I love that your box of stuff is. We notice what's not there.
Yeah.
Well,
We notice what's there. It's the box of disappointment.
there is a.
Bad box.
There are two large items which are kind of laying in the box and against the wall. Able, you do notice right off the bat that there is a halberd. There's, matter of fact, there's 2 of them stacked in the box. Just about any weapon that you can think of that has a wooden handle with a metal edge, meaning whether it would be like a warhammer, a mace, a flail, or anything such as that. There are.
How about
some of them.
how about a nice axe?
There are 3 hand axes.
All right. I'm going to pick up all 3 hand axes.
Okay. You pick up the 3 hand axes. One of them is functional, but is looks like that it will probably break. The other two in good shape.
Oh, I thought it was going to go down from there.
I thought
One of them is functional.
the functional was going to break was the top level one. So
No, one of them is functional, but looks like it's probably going to break after a couple of uses. The other 2 look to be good.
I put the functional but break after 2 uses one back in.
What was wrong with that one?
As you do that, you do notice the kind of tucked back in the corner of the box, kind of underneath a whole bunch of different things. You see what look to be like a bundle of arrows that is kind of wrapped up and it's kind of stuck down in the corner.
Yep, I will absolutely be grabbing those as well.
Okay.
How many are there?
7.
7. Nice. Yes, for those of you listening, that is this type of campaign. 7 arrows,
Yeah.
windfall.
And most of them are functional.
Able visibly looks shaken, and he sighs.
Not
And
stirred.
then he drags the 2 boxes over to the table so he can sit down and start examining the halberds.
Yeah,
A box.
the boxes are, almost 3 feet by 2 feet, and the halberd is kind of sitting in it, propped it
Oh,
against
okay,
the
so they
wall.
weren't individually cased or something.
No. They're both just sitting there, like their butts sitting in the box with most of it leaning up against the wall.
Well, I pulled both of them out and headed over to the table and started examining them.
Okay.
I don't look happy about it.
Oh.
So there's a Folkher put 1 or 2 axes back.
1.
He put 1 slightly functional axe back.
Okay, I'm gonna pick that up and I guess give it a look. Look it over. Look over to my friend and say, maybe not long term, but this is a little easier to chop heads off with.
Wait, I'm
Ah.
sorry. Do you not have anything else, lady?
I have this. I hold my dagger up.
Give me here. I'll take that one. You don't want to use that. Here, use this one. And I swap them out.
Do you not have anything else, lady? That's the best thing I've heard.
So you can have a good one, and I will have a good one and a garbage one.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay.
What is my assessment of the halberds?
How many uses does this hand axe have?
You get 2 assets.
Now, as far as you know, that hand axe, it functions just as normal just as good as normal hand axe. Both appear to be in pretty decent shape. Your assessment of them is that the metal part of them, the blade part, have never been sharpened and never been used. Your guessing is that it's probably been something that's been ceremonial, that's been sitting somewhere, but it's actually a functional halberd. Like it's a working halberd. It's somebody had a real one and put it in a corner and used it as decoration, and it was never been used.
So, but it's never been sharpened either, so I need to put an edge on it? Is that what you're saying? Or
I didn't quite.
it's like a blank?
No, I didn't. I misspoke when I said that. What I mean is that there are no nicks and it's never been used.
Oh, okay.
I didn't mean never been sharpened. I just meant that it's never been dulled, and it's never touched anything. So
Just like
it's
me.
pretty much.
I just pick. If there's no difference between either one that I can tell.
There isn't.
I pick one. I stick the other one back in the box, and then I take my walking stick and stick that in the box.
Okay.
While this is going on, and they're looking through the box, and I obviously have like no use whatsoever for fucking weapons. Like, I would throw them at someone while I ran the other direction. That's fine. But while that's going on, I'm going to. Did Nash go back behind the bar?
Yes.
I'm gonna go up to Nash and just kind of be like, "Hey, buddy. So if you guys are clearing out of here pretty soon, do you got any extra stuff back there that maybe we could take off your hands and maybe would help us on our way to this very important scouting mission we're doing for the mayor?"
He's actually looking at you as he's taking many of these bottles and putting them into crates that have straw, and he's putting all these bottles and stuff from where they were into crates, and then putting the crates lids on and hammering them down and saying, "Doesn't look like there's anything extra. Yeah, we're trying to take everything."
Well, yeah. Nash, I think he means food for the road. We could use something to eat on the way down there.
You have like a spare sausage, if you know what I mean.
He says,
Sit down, barman.
like I said, there's a whole bunch of stuff still waiting outside. They haven't packed up all the festival food.
Oh, it's in like an hors d'oeuvres table that's still out there. Okay.
Yes, still food out there.
So no sausage, but we could have some nut loaf.
Pretty much.
Nut loaf just sounds like upset my tummy. I don't know.
Nut loaf's gonna keep on the road a lot better than sausage will.
That Olympus log.
A limbus log?
Reference. That's out of character.
Limbus log. I'm going to write that one down in the book here.
So I'm
It's
gonna
got
head
a
out
great
and
recipe for
go.
that.
I'm gonna head out and go check out the festival foods that are left over, and smartly take only the things that are least perishable from it, and try to gather what I can.
Are there
Okay.
a lot of people out at that tent area still like milling about or whatever?
No, if when Folkher goes out, and I guess other people leave
I've-
as well.
Is there anything else in this crates? Is that
What else are you looking for?
well? I've got a player's handbook list here, but
Just start at the
so-
top. Just start at the top. Full plate. Is there full plate in the box?
Medium armor.
Okay.
Is
Is there
there any
half
armor in the
plate?
box?
No, there's no armor in the box.
There's no armor in the box. Is there a shield in the box?
There is a shield. There is one wooden shield in the box.
Could anyone use a shield?
Do I have a shield?
I'm
out of
already outside.
character. I think I do, but I'm just gonna clarify.
You have a shield.
Is this one better or worse?
It's exactly the same.
No.
What is? I need to look up. But when you use a shield without proficiency, what happens there?
I don't know. Without any looking at the rules, my guess would be that you can use it for one round, and then you cannot use it for any subsequent round. Like I would always say that you could take a shield and hold it up, and then that would be it. But you couldn't use it for another round.
You can use it for like one block, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could use it. That would be what I think would happen without a rules. That's what I would say.
Okay. I will throw the shield on my back, and
Oh, it's heavy.
I trust me. I know what it's like to be drunk and stumble around the place with a shield on my back. I still have sores on
Do
my
you?
side. What else is in these? I'm kind of helping Able now before I go outside.
There,
What else
said
is in these boxes?
Warhammer, flail.
So
Yeah.
really fast. The rules on the shield is you can use it, but you have disadvantage on all checks, saving throws and attack rolls as long as you have it. So you can get the +2 to your thing, but if you're not proficient, you get negative or you get disadvantage on everything you do.
That's terrible.
Just in this campaign.
Yeah. We're already rolling shit.
Okay.
What else was in the box? Able is that almost anything that would be a wooden metal mix, like what I said, if it's got a wooden handle, such
Like a
as
mace.
Say
Yes.
Warhammer mace.
a warhammer, there would be a warhammer, there would be a mace.
How many-
those things would be in there?
Are there like multiple Warhammers?
Yes.
I will take 2 Warhammers
There's
and that
probably
shield.
4 warhammers in there.
I will take 3 Warhammers and that shield.
I'll take a flail that I find in the corner there.
Okay. There's actually only one flail.
That's fine.
And you said there was 2 halberds, right?
There were.
Okay, I'll take one of those.
There's
too.
one now.
Yeah, I took one of them.
You took one. He's taking the other.
I will use his walking stick. It'll be great.
It's like loading up
I
everything.
love Barmin the Shield Maiden, just carrying every weapon known to man.
Hey, say that in character, motherfucker. I dare you. I will run away from you so fucking fast.
This is why we have to. This is why we have defined character voices.
Yeah.
I would also like to look at the mace.
Who else is taking a mace? Only
No one's taking a
No
mace.
one's taking a
took
mace?
the
Just asked if
Okay.
there was one there.
yes. There definitely is. There are 2 maces.
Are there any improvements from what I'm currently packing?
They're just a basic mace.
Are they different colors? I can at least try to accessorize.
No, I'm not sure if the mace you have have a metal handle with a leather grip, or because these have a wooden handle. So
Okay.
Mace is probably nicer.
Probably like yours better.
Yeah. Okay.
Carrying her mace in her white hand.
Folkher, as you're outside, looking around, go ahead and make a survival check to see what kind of food you can find that would be you're looking for the most preservable,
Yeah, the most travel-worthy food.
most travel-worthy foods. Go ahead and make a survival check.
That is a 14.
Okay. Mostly what you find are, like I said, you don't find anything that's preserved, but you do find things that would last a little while, such as there's a few loaves and those hard-boiled eggs, which don't last too long. But unfortunately, it looks like that the jars that you have come in contact with are jars of these pickled fish. All the jars lids are empty, and there's a lot of these pickled fish around, but not in a jar that's sealed. The thing that you do find best would be the cured bacon, or not cured bacon, the cured ham slabs and the nut loaves.
All right, so I'm gonna grab just literally as much as I think I can get away with and start stacking stuff up. I would
Is
always
Nash-
have more than less. This is outside, so this is
Yeah, this is outside.
Okay.
right. So I'm just gonna start grabbing as many loaves of bread and as many. I'm assuming they have got like wax paper with them or something to wrap the ham in, or there's something that they're sitting on top of, or something along those lines. But so I'm gonna grab as much as I can. So how much? What is the equivalent in foodstuffs, in rations that I have for all that nut loaf and cured ham?
Just make a sleight of hand check to see if the old lady that stands around is watching you take too much.
You know that old lady. She
Yeah, the one with the wooden spoon in her hand that's like smacks the hand.
Oh,
But
I was trying to do it obviously. I wasn't trying to do it stealthily or anything. I
just,
was
just see if
literally
she's looking in another
Okay.
direction.
My sleight of hand check is an 11.
Okay, you managed to get 3 loaves, and you actually they're on a they're almost on what am I thinking of, like a cloth. So you can take the 3 loaves and you wrap up the bandana cloth, wrap all 3 loaves in there, put those in your backpack, and then you manage to get 3 loaves, and each of those loaves will actually feed 2 people for a day.
So like each loaf is like a 2-pound loaf. Like I'm not trying to be funny here, but like a you need right. That's what we need, like a pound of food a day, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And then am I able to? So as soon as that's stashed away,
Yeah.
and she doesn't notice, then I'm gonna start grabbing ham.
Okay. And you actually start grabbing the ham, and you realize that like there's another person, another old guy that's kind of stacking some ham for his trip as well, for their trip off to the lower loads.
Everybody's
smile at him,
stacking
smile and
ham.
nod and be congenial.
And so yeah, you got 3 slabs of this ham.
3 slabs of salted ham.
Yep. And each slab can feed 2 people for a day.
Okay.
You can obviously you can break that up so that nobody eats like a whole half a slab, and
Oh no! I'm gonna be choosing.
Today-
You're a bread person today.
Today's
You're a
ham day.
Person today.
It's
Today's
like-
ham day.
It's like is
Uh,
today leg day? Today is ham day.
Today is ham day.
Always leg day.
I'd like to try to take some. Sorry, Dover.
And then you said there's empty jars, non-sealed empty jars.
there are empty jars, but they don't have lids.
Oh, there's no lids lying around.
That's what I'm saying. There's no lids. There's no way to put anything in those things and seal them up. They're just
No, I wasn't trying to steal them. I was just trying to take empty jars with me because I literally had nothing, and I'm literally going to shove everything
you can
in the
find
back
you
of
can
my-
take jars, but there are no lids.
Oh, well, that's pointless. Then.
That's why I was trying to get to. There
There's
wasn't a reason.
you know what? That's the name of this. The name of this first episode. There's jars, but there are no lids.
There are no lids.
What's it like playing a mat
Okay.
game? There's jars, but there's no lids. Everything goes bad quickly.
So, if
All right,
yeah,
I'm good. When as soon as I get to the point where I effectively have what 12 food days worth of stuff with me, or person days of person food eating food
Servings?
days.
Days
I was trying to
of
think of
person eating
man
food.
hours. Like, you have man
Servings?
hours, right? So like man hours are like, oh, this is like man, whatever. No.
Mandate.
Food hours, food days, whatever. Well, I've got all this crap. I'm done. I'm gonna just head right back in, and everyone's still in there talking in their pairs and fussing over whatever weapons they've got or not get or whatever they're scrounging. And I nod towards Nash and I say, "Hey Nash, before you get done packing everything up, can I get one more for the road?"
And he gladly pours you one more mug of mead. If you bring back your mug to him, so
Sure.
that you can use the same one. He's packing up all the rest of them.
So, and as I take a draw from it and I look back towards everyone's as they're talking, I was able to grab some of the stuff from out there to eat on the road. We'll make do foraging and hunting what we need to for the rest of it, but we need to decide when we're leaving because everyone's getting on the road and they're moving out now. You can, and I point over towards Nash, you can see they're packing up and getting ready. So I don't know how keen y'all are on waiting until first light. We could try to get a move now, or we could wait. Anyone have a preference?
It's just now noon, right?
Just after.
Just a little bit after.
Was Ned
I
coming
guess it's-
back? Or
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'd say we wait till he comes back, and then I have no problems leaving today if we need to.
This whole
Jesus
time after
Christ.
I've gotten my hand axe, I'd like to have taken the time to try to turn my backpack inside out and get rid of all the extra goblin gook.
Okay.
It's just
Young
whatever.
lady, you might be kind enough to the fella to do that outside.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not sure if putting dead,
Sorry, Nash.
rotten flesh on the
I'll
ground.
go outside
is the
and do
best thing
it.
to do.
I'm gonna.
And while
go
you're out there,
outside.
grab some food for yourself for the road.
Oh,
Yeah, it seems like
Okay.
stackable ham would probably absorb goblin gook.
I would like to make my way outside for provisions as well.
Okay. Both you two head out to look for some provisions. Each of you make a survival check. While they head out, Ned comes back in. I'm waiting for the survival checks.
I rolled a 7.
Oh, good lord! I rolled an 8.
Okay.
Who
You
rolled
look
these
around-
stats?
Look around and pretty much like as soon as you guys get out there, you realize that almost all the food is being packed up and taken away. While that old gray-haired lady, the one that didn't see that Folkher took way more than his share, without even worrying about it, but she sees that you're looking, and then she hands both of you to just a little handkerchief, and in the handkerchief are each of you get 5 hard-boiled eggs.
I give her
There's a lot of chickens in this world.
Yes.
Goddamn
Can we
bad.
get some chickens?
The chickens are being
Can we
taken.
get the chickens?
I give the woman.
You
a
do not
finger
want to
out.
follow the chicken cart, okay? You do not want to get behind the chicken wagon.
They poop breakfast.
Oh no, they do not. They do poop a lot. But it ain't breakfast.
Gross.
Okay.
Okay.
Angie,
So Ned's back.
Ned's back,
or okay.
and he's kind of wringing his hands nervously and says, "I know I'm asking a lot. Once again, I'm sorry, Able, but can you help us out?"
Thought I already told him I could.
Well, he's just making sure.
Yes, I reaffirm that I will
Okay.
be doing this.
Okay. He kind of sighs and smiles a bit and says, "Thank you very much. Thank you. 2 weeks. Come back. Come to the Lola Load, and you'll be able to find us, especially with Folkher here. You'll be able to find us there. We'll settle everything up. We'll figure out what you've learned, and then also, if you can, Crimson Brothers,
Basil,
and then there's Laura,
her brother
Cardo,
Basil.
brother Basil, and I suppose, Florian if you find him.
Who's Florian?
Florian's the person.
Oh,
that
the
Laura.
boy that Laura went off with.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd
Excuse
like
me.
to check the
Is there anyone else missing in the woods that I need to be looking?
No, but I don't know that you need. I don't know that you need to go to the woods. Yeah, I just think that if you just head south, he tells you that Ned, Willard, and all the people are going around the Lake Cressell. They're going off to the western side, and then all you need to do is just go around Lake Cressell to the eastern side, and then go due south from there, and go until basically you hit. It should take you about a week until you hit the Ondura River.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Should I have been writing this down? Folkher, do you have this?
I know where we're going.
Okay. I don't know why I'm trusting you, but you seem like a man who knows where his stacked meat is.
I get paid to get people in and out of places. Don't worry. you'll
Wait,
be
we
fine.
don't have to pay you though, right? Like you're
This
being
guy.
paid. Okay. Yes, that's this guy. Yes, okay.
Are there any torches in the boxes?
Can we make the boxes into torches?
You can if you want.
No.
Break
that's-
up the box.
What about
Um,
rope?
Would,
I c-
that's a decent
Nothing
question.
spare. I mean, everybody's using the rope that they have.
Okay.
So would you said the we would meet them back in the little lote, but that is a very large area. Would I know specifically which part of it they're going to?
Yes, you have a general idea of the area in which they were going.
Right. And when you say, when you say the river, do you mean it'll take a week to get to the point where the river comes out of Cressell Lake, or because the river is flowing south out of Cressell Lake, right?
Right.
So that's what it'll take a week to get to the point where we get the river out of the lake. Effectively.
No, it'll take a week to probably get to the upper parts of the river, not where it actually meets the Cressell Lake, but further upstream.
Okay.
And you can go straight down that way.
Okay. Right. Where it branches off and then it goes because.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, about where the fork's at.
Okay. Cool.
And that'll take you guys a week to get there. And that's always asked. Just try to find out what's that far south and what you've learned, and if there what's going on in that direction.
Well, don't worry, everyone. It's actually going to be an easier walk for us than them. We're not going through the hills.
It is that's 100% true. They're going a shorter distance, but they're going through the hills into the forest.
Well, that's just really
Gotcha.
that's just really fucking reassuring. That makes me feel so much better.
It's all right, Master
Dipper.
Dwarf. You're just going to you're going to have a nice couple weeks vacation, camping out in the woods, enjoying some starlight, and then you're going to get paid nice and handsome.
I love sleeping outside. There's nothing like looking at the stars and the breezes and stuff like that. But I just have, for some reason, I'm not going to put a name on it, but for some reason I fear that this is just going to lead to sadness and death. I just feel like that's going to happen.
Isn't that the
when you-
natural order of life?
I don't want to. I mean,
When you say sadness and death, you notice Folker's demeanor change a little bit, and he gets a little quieter than he was before, and kind of nods along with you.
I mean,
Yes.
that's the way energy goes, I guess.
And
I-
everything ends up that way eventually.
when I'm pretty sure I would notice your demeanor change, and I will look at you, and I'll pull down my red scarf a little bit and show my the rope burns around my neck, and just be like, I know what loss is. Yes.
Yeah, don't worry, I had one of them made for me too. I just lucky enough to get out of it before it tightened.
Turns out third time's easier than first time if you take me for it.
All
As
right.
l- as long-
Anyways, great.
With that, by the time you guys get ready, I guess everybody kind of looks towards Able. Are you ready to go?
He nods his head, quietly starts walking out.
I estimate that it's sometime around 2:30. Well, 2:30. It's 2 to 3 o'clock. It's 2:37 according to the.
What was it? It was about an hour after noon. So one.
At dawn, we
We plan.
at dawn
Head
we
out
plan.
at dawn.
27, we leave.
But so, did you want to get a run in?
As soon as
We attack at 9:30ish.
as soon as Abel starts walking towards the front door, like I'm gonna pull my drum out from behind me and start just doing a funeral march. Grunk, grunk.
You start doing the robot.
The robot. Okay.
So,
Oh.
as a quick side note for anyone who might be listening and is questioning why we say the robot bit, because you're actually getting a clean recording from Ryan's side of things. For the rest of us, when his internet blips, we don't hear him, and it turns into a mechanical robot noise. So now you're in on the joke.
Yay!
Yay!
Hey.
So I'm gonna head out promptly. I'm gonna look towards the girls, and kind of nod my head towards the door.
You mean the ladies? You mean towards the ladies?
I mean,
We're maybe.
Well, I don't say the word girls. I look towards the ones I've used the feminine pronouns for thus far. And I nod them towards the door.
So again, this afternoon is pretty much kept with the same type of weather. It's crystal clear blue skies. It's cool weather. About this time when you're in the sun, it's slightly uncomfortable. Just meaning you get a little bit sweaty just walking in the sun. But when you stay in the shadows or whenever the wind comes through, it's nice, crisp, and clean. You head south. It's pretty quick that you come out of town. There's a number of paths through the farms. Many of you have not seen Lake Cressel before. It's not a very populated lake. People don't live right along the shores of it. So the lake itself kind of begins, and there's just a whole bunch of cattails and a whole bunch of grown-up area around where the lake is. So looking out, you can see where the water is, but along the shore, it's so swampy in that area. There's not a lot of people that live right there along the shores of the lake. But for the rest of the day, you come across a few people which are taking carts. Those are mostly off towards your east or traveling along the path, and they have their carts. The two carts that you do come across are the same kind of hand-drawn carts where it's just a person that's basically kind of a rickshaw. They're carrying all their worldly goods and then other people walking alongside of it. But for the rest of this day, night begins to fall. You estimate that tomorrow, Folkher kind of tells you that tomorrow, after probably just a couple hours after waking, that you should come up to the Tista River, which is the first small tributary off of Cressel Lake that you should cross.
How do you spell that? Tister?
It's the Tista River, Tista, Tista.
Is this are we on a road?
You're still following those same things. They're kind of like, they're just walking paths, but no, you're not following a road.
It's like a trail. There's not like ruts in it from cartwheels. It's
As
like
it gets closer to dusk, I'd suggest to Folkher we start finding a place to camp for the night.
Yeah. Survival check, I'm assuming. Finding a
Yes.
place.
Yeah. See what kind of place you can find.
Can I assist him?
Let's see what's going
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead. If you're going to assist him, then you can take advantage.
on. Okay, so with advantage, my survival check is a 9.
You're not sure whether you just can't find any, or whether you waited too late because it's too dark, or whether there's just nothing around this area. It's all just farmland. About the best you can do is if you want to either get up on a slightly elevated hill, or if you want to find a place where you're slightly behind an elevated hill. That's about as good as you can get.
Can we just push on and risk exhaustion to get a little bit further?
It sounds like a terrible idea.
It's a couple hours it's a couple hours walk to you get to the Tista River. What you do know of the Tista River is there is one large bridge that accommodates, it's a wagon size. but the area where the bridge is at is also fairly fordable, and the Tista River is not a very deep and swift river. It's wide in some places, but it's rather shallow, and the ford at the bridge itself is also really accessible to walk through.
All right, everyone. We kind of walked ourselves into a bad location for camping. We can do something now, and sleep a little rough tonight, or we can deal with getting a little tired and pushing on, try to find something better.
What do you think, Your Honor?
I'll go with our guide on this one. If he thinks we should push on, then we'll push on.
No, we're not necessarily in a hurry, but if you guys don't mind sleeping a little mud.
I would say with 2 weeks on the road, it's probably best to just play it safe now and recover a bit.
She sounds
Play it
like
safe
she knows
and
what she's.
just deal with the bad camping now, or push on to find something nice.
No, play it safe right now. Get the rest we can, and hit an early start in the morning.
It doesn't look comfortable, but as long as we're between a couple of hills, like maybe we'll stay out of view or something. I don't know.
Well, I see there's no one around here looking for us right now, so.
Maybe not for you, buddy.
Head in her bag begs to.
Head in her
Yeah,
bag
I
begs to
lost it.
differ.
Yeah, thank you. The sentence would not come.
So
Which is-
I point towards an area where it would be probably, the best as I could find. With,
Okay.
With frickin' advantage and a fucking +6.
Mm-hmm.
2 and a 3 for fuck's sake. Anyways, I found a place, and you put this tent there. Put that tent there. Do we have tents?
Do
got
we
bed-
have
Did anyone else
No.
have tents?
I have a bedroll.
I have a
Put your
bedroll.
here. Put your bedroll here. I grab a few. Do I find some rocks and make a little fire circle? And
That's what I was going to ask. Are you going to light a fire?
I think so.
Yes.
Trying to move in
Yeah,
quiet. I don't think
I'm
so.
intending to. We're literally like 3 hours out of town. Like, there's plenty of fodder for.
I love Barmin's instincts. No fire.
Sit down. Bar.
Okay.
Well, unless he voices
I think
something, I start.
we are trying to sit down in the dell, kind of behind a hill. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You have that choice.
Yeah.
I think if we're gonna do a fire, I think that's what we need to do. We don't want to be on the top of a hill with a fire.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh my God, of course not. Yep, that's by default. You never do that. So, hey, come on.
I'm a man of the fucking
Okay,
woods.
Boy Scout.
Duh. I'm a man of the fucking woods. Duh.
Like, come on, give me a goddamn break. Okay, so yeah, set up a fire. No, I don't want to.
Sure. Do you want to set a watch?
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, I
Yeah.
tell everyone.
Okay. What order? What order are you setting the watch at? One person at a time, or?
I will take the first watch.
Okay.
I'll take the last watch.
I'll take second watch.
So we have RM. Abel's the last watch. Who's second?
I am.
You,
Anyu.
I'm pretty good at keeping an eye out for things. I'm
Okay.
happy to take a
Oh,
watch.
sweet. Okay, so let him take the first watch, and I'm gonna go to bed. Good night.
That's totally fine, Master Dwarf.
I'm
Okay.
not very good, but I can try to help. I'll help Anyu. I'll take watch with Anyu.
Sounds great.
Okay. Barm, are you going to do any watch at all?
Nope, he's already asleep.
So everybody's going to do 2 hours, or Anyu and Juana, you're going to do 4 hours together
we've got
total.
four of us doing watch,
Yeah.
so each of us would have to do.
2
Oh,
hours.
you're right.
Right.
If
So
they do it
But if
together,
they're doing
then
it
one.
together, what I'm asking is they're going to do 4
Yeah.
hours together.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Folkher, go ahead and make a let's do perception check.
Ryan.
Oh, well, it shouldn't be with advantage, but it's 24.
Okay. I was wondering if we had the thing, but we're not doing it in roll 20 where we can tell the one guy specific, like
Yeah.
where anyway.
Actually, can
I don't know if you can in Zoom.
You could maybe do it in chat.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter.
I'll tell you what. Who do you want to talk to, and we'll all take our headphones off until you wave back.
Actually,
No.
that totally works.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Who do you,
I would
good.
actually like that because I would love to go say hi to Kale.
Yeah,
Okay.
and yep. So
All
everyone
right.
take your headsets off except for me, I'm assuming.
I'll be back.
Everybody's got a pee, I'm sure.
Yeah. They go pee like the wind. All right, go for it. They're all gone. And you're being attacked by wolves. Oh shit.
Everybody roll initiative. Oh wait.
Ooh,
So
I knew no one in this group had initiative.
what you immediately like? You hide your fire well enough that you don't emit too much smoke. And during your watch, you're kind of wandering around, and you go up to the hill in which you've kind of hidden behind. With a 24 perception, you do notice that there are a number of other fires out and around. None of them are real close, but there seems to be a larger fire, a larger smoke plume going into the night sky coming from the bridge area. There's
And-
other small fires, but then again, there were also like there's a lot of people out and about walking.
Sure,
with you.
yeah.
So
But they
But-
were all. The vast majority of travelers were supposed to be heading the other direction.
that's right. But there is a rather large campfire plume coming from the south where the bridge was.
Okay, good to know.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Well then. So yeah, well I'm going to. How
Yeah,
far?
you can loot all the corpses.
Yeah.
you
Okay.
can-
All right. Good. I don't want anyone else to know. So well.
Okay.
Okay. Good. I want to keep all those sweet jewels for myself. Yeah. So we'll get. I really like that.
We'll deal with your
This is a really good
experience.
excuse. This is a really good excuse to have people be able to take quick breaks.
it is.
If they're
I just squirted one out real quick. It was perfect.
I don't want to know what you scored it out.
We made some nut bread.
You made nut bread. No nut loaf.
No nut loaf November.
All right, so God damn it. So I'm assuming the rest of my 2 hours passed uneventfully. That was
Yeah,
like-
that's correct. Are you going to say anything to?
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. I
next
mean, that's
people? Okay.
I was waiting for the next watch to get here, but I'm having a really hard time waking Anyu up. So I decided that I'm just gonna pass this on to Honoa, and so I wake you up first.
Oh, it was my turn?
Y'all's turn. She
My hair.
doesn't seem much. She doesn't seem like she wants to stir, but
I'll get her. I'll get her.
when she gets up, keep an eye out. There's lots of fires around. If you go up there and peek. Keep everyone else get an idea something's going on.
Okay.
But if you follow the shoreline around, you see the shoreline down there, and I point off in the general direction of the shore, and then I start moving my hand towards the left. The shore runs left, and down there a ways is a bridge we're gonna have to cross to get down the direction we're going. Goes over a river down there. There's an awful big fire down there, way bigger
Oh.
than it should be. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's worth keeping an eye out on. Keep
Okay.
near that direction.
Like grass fire kind of thing?
No, like
or
a bonfire. I mean, I don't know
a
if
structure?
bridge-
The bridge?
I don't know. It's way bigger than it should be. It's either someone
Ah,
it's someone burning a bridge, burning a wagon, or burning one hell of a campfire. So,
great.
but it's
Okay.
enough. It's enough to be worried about. Just keep an eye on it, and like I said, keep the fire low.
Okay. Thank you, Folkher. No, Garrick's back.
No. So I got it, and then that's it. I'm done. I'm gonna go to sleep. And by go to sleep, I mean I'm gonna take my break now.
Yeah, go take a break.
Joanna and you, both of you guys can roll. One of you can roll with advantage, or both of you can roll perception checks.
Anyu, how you feeling with that advantage?
I feel pretty good with perception. You said.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'll help you out.
Yeah, I think let's do that this time around. See how it goes. Where's advantage?
If you haven't turned the toggle, always advantage, it should roll it already. Yeah.
Oh,
You've
yeah,
been
I
rolling
don't.
straight, so you should be able to toggle it at the top.
Yeah, but I don't see it. Hold on.
You just
Sorry,
went twice.
little bit of technical difficulties here. My toggle is gone. That's awesome.
Yeah, just roll perception twice or something.
Yeah. Yay, getting used to this again. There was an 8.
Oh, please
Oh.
more, please more.
Jesus, and that's a critical failure with
At least you got the 8.
That's true. Yeah, so we've got an 8.
Matt was all worried about people rolling too high.
Now, even though
Do the rest of us need to duck out of this?
no,
Okay.
even though Folkher has told you where that he saw a large fire in this direction, it appears that either because of the lateness of the night or there's a little bit of a breeze that's picked up, you just don't know where he's talking about and just kind of lose the idea of where it's at. And so you don't see anything. And the rest of your shift goes pretty much uneventfully.
Yeah, that fire's maintained very low.
So you guys have gone there for 4 hours, and it's Abel's turn. You guys can get a couple more hours of sleep.
Yeah, we relayed to him what Folker said, and just kind of point in a general direction. Like we kind of said the words.
I don't know this area. I'm sorry.
So we saw what looked like a fire down in the direction of the bridge that we're supposed to cross tomorrow.
Yeah.
Correct.
We're hoping
Oh,
not.
that sounds good.
We haven't seen anything so far.
Okay. I'll
But-
keep an eye out that way.
Okay.
Get some sleep.
Good night.
You can go ahead and make a perception roll.
I rolled a 14.
You notice that in that direction, you do see some wisps of smoke, but there doesn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary. You do notice in other areas that there are some wisps of smoke, so it kind of just looks like there's a campfire in that direction, and there's campfires in some of the other directions as well. You knew that there was farmers.
So I'm seeing the light from fire.
No, you're seeing you're just kind of seeing the campfire smoke in the air as it's trailing up.
This is a well-lit night, I assume.
Yes, yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah. The moon is out, and that's why there was a reflection off of the lake as well. So it's a very well lit night.
Okay. But other than that, no.
Other than that, nothing. And your perception really comes into. You can really see where the smoke is once it starts becoming dawn. Since you've got that last shift, you can see where the smoke goes. But then, just about the time that it really starts getting sun up, it's pretty much gone.
Okay. When dawn rolls around, I kick Barmin awake.
Yep.
Tell him he just volunteered to make breakfast since he slept through the night.
Oh, okay, Judge. Yeah, I can make breakfast. So question, did we just use like 1 day's worth of food, or were we still fed from the day before?
No, y'all were still fed from before. Y'all
Okay.
ate enough to have satiated for that day.
I'm gonna cook up a little bit of a little ham loaf casserole, like in my mess kit. I'm just gonna heat up a little bit of the ham and get it like kind of cooking in the greases, and then throw in some chunks of bread and kind of toast it a little bit, so it's kind of like a little toasty bread and ham. Because I'm a cook.
You make a corned beef hash,
I
basically.
make a corned beef hash. Is what I do. It's just like it's just fucking gross.
It's just gruel.
It's just gruel.
Are you a
Everything
cook?
Malta meal.
No, I'm not a cook.
Okay, I was gonna have you make a roll, but
No, I'm just heating up. I'm getting ham greasy enough that I can put bread in my little tin cup thing without burning it.
okay. Everybody else wakes up to Barmin making breakfast, eat, and then it's time to move on. That's what's going to happen.
All right.
Barman, that was lovely. Thank you.
You're very kind. You say nice things even when lies come out. I appreciate.
Very nice. This is not what it came out.
Tell Barman it was adequate as always.
Yeah, it gives you.
You sure made that stuff warm.
I did what? I played third fiddle in the Bale Nord fucking symphony. If you want to hear a fucking string piece, first get me a fucking fiddle. But secondly, like, I will still cook you some food and it'll be hot. So, also, I'm following you people to death. So you're fucking welcome.
So, I'm keeping an eye out. I want to move confidently. I want to move casually towards the crossing.
Okay.
Like casually.
The first couple hours, once again, the weather here, the weather is cold during the morning. The sky, which was clear most of the night, has looks like on the horizon that it's starting to get cloudy. Now they're not rain clouds, but there's clouds which are moving in. The prevailing winds generally come from the south here, so that's where stuff is moving from. It's moving from the south. And so it's a little bit cooler this morning than it has. The breeze has also picked up just a little bit, and so it's a little bit chillier. And the grain and the waist high and all the crops and the wild grasses and stuff are moving about in the wind.
As we walk in fields of gold.
Yes,
Never mind, sorry.
every now and then cloaks are kind of being whipped about. But so far, nothing but birds on the morning that you hear. Just birds that don't seem to have any cares or have anything that there doesn't seem to be any kind of dangers or anything. And you follow these paths until you get to where Folkher says, "Hey, he can see the bridge and the river up ahead." And I guess you guys stop, kind of like you said, you were approaching it cautiously. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit before you actually get to the bridge, you notice that a lot of the paths that you've been traveling on, which most of the time are just kind of single walking paths, maybe even like livestock paths or anything, where they've taken just one ox or one hoofed animal. They're kind of converging. So a lot of different paths are coming from different areas and kind of converging into one path. And by the time you get to where all those things have converged and you can see the bridge up ahead, you also see what you believe to be on the other side of the bridge, on the south side of the bridge. You see the source of the fire, and it appears that it looks like two large carts which have been crashed together and burned.
Okay.
On the bridge or over the bridge?
Over on the other side of the bridge, south of the river, on the bridge, south of the bridge, but near the bridge, but not quite on it.
Okay.
South of it though, but just on the other side.
Like intentionally crashed though. Like it looks like they've been.
Yes, they've been
blocked.
pushed together and burned.
I asked Folkher if he'd like to sneak on up there and see what he can see.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The bridge itself is not very high. This like when I say that this river, at this general spot, it is probably maybe 45 to 50 feet wide, but it appears that at some places it's no deeper than 6 inches to maybe a foot. Like I said, it's a very wide, fast-moving river at this point, and this is where the ford is at. The bridge itself is probably about 25 feet wide. It only gets to about 10 feet above the river. It's about 25 feet wide and spans the fort, and that's about it. It has very low railings on each side, only about a foot high. It's definitely made for large wagons, and it's a very sturdy, heavy bridge for wagons and I'd say wide loads.
These
Okay.
this bridge seems very well defined with its size, and it looks like a place we may have to fight.
Could you repeat that?
No,
Steak
don't
face.
worry. Don't worry about it. I was like saying, there's very good parameters to the size, and never mind.
Oh,
So I'm gonna approach. I want to approach stealthily. I'm gonna use stealth.
okay.
We're going
I
to
got a
fucking die on this
20,
bridge.
Not a natural 20, but I got a 20 on my stealth check.
Okay.
This is where we fucking die.
Where are you approaching?
I'm approaching the bridge first, and then if I can, continue across to get a lay of look for any signs of what may have happened to lead to the wagons burning.
Okay. You get up the bridge, go up the ramp, which takes you up about, like I said, only about 10 feet. And it takes you about 15 feet to get that 10 feet up, and then probably 20 feet to get that 10 feet up. And then you're flat on the bridge, and you can see in most directions. Don't notice anything. Do you have anything in your hands, or are you both your hands are free?
Both my hands are free. I don't
Okay.
have my bow drawn yet.
Okay. All right. And you don't notice anything. You see that both those two carts have been purposely, like when I say crash, they've been pushed together, and they've been burned.
Right, but there's no obvious bodies on the ground. There's no signs of battle or anything like that.
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna continue forward to the smoldering wagons, and as I cross the bridge, I am gonna actually pull my bow out and knock an arrow.
Okay. Are you still going alone? Is anybody else following?
Oh,
Or are
no,
you
I'm still
motioning
going
for them?
I'm still going alone, trying to be stealthy. I haven't signaled them to come forward until I know there's a reason to.
Okay.
I'm keeping a very close eye on his advancement.
He crosses most of the bridge, and so
God.
he's probably 75 feet away from you guys, and so he's almost over the bridge, and he pulls his bow out and looks around. Don't see anything.
How long was the bridge again?
The bridge itself is like 50, I believe, 50 feet.
I'm gonna try and nope. I'm not. Nope.
Okay, so I want to move to an area where they can still see me, but I'm surveying everything. So I'm gonna come down on the shore side of the shoreline of the other side of the bridge.
Okay.
And hopefully, I'm assuming that the river's cut through the environment a little bit, use a little bit of that lower area.
Oh, you want to stay? You want to get off the sides of the bridge?
Yeah, I want to move down onto the other side and start
Okay.
moving towards the wagons, but I still want to be able to see them me, so I can still signal them to advance or
Okay.
stay back.
Yeah, so just move off to you can move off to your left side, and so you can see them approaching because they are kind of coming from that way, where you can see you're standing, about 2 feet from where the water actually is, off the side of the bridge, and you can signal them. They can see you, and you can just motion them to go forward.
Okay, well, I look around, I don't see anything else.
Make a perception check.
Okay. So, I got a 23 on my perception check.
No, you don't initially see anything. Looking around, don't see much, and then something does catch your eye on the other side of the hill. It looks like that there is somebody leaning up against, and there is a bush or a tree which kind of shakes a little. And said, you normally wouldn't have caught that in the wind at all, but the bush kind of shakes a little unnaturally. With a 23, yeah, you caught it.
Nobody likes unnatural bush shake.
You initially you had told them to come on. I don't know if you're going to tell them to stop.
Yeah, I'm gonna put up I'm gonna signal for them to stop.
When he signals for stop, Barman goes prone.
And then I'm going to try to stealth back. I'm going to return because I saw something, and I'm going to return and cross the bridge and get back to them.
Okay.
Because I do not have telepathy. I cannot just tell them what I want to tell them.
All right. Go ahead. Stealth back. Yeah. What's your stealth back?
Oh, I gotta roll again. I can't keep rocking that 20.
No.
Not in this game.
Apparently you can.
Apparently I can't keep rocking that 20. I rolled it 15 plus 5, 20.
Bravo.
Okay.
I'm glad one of us is a real stat.
Yeah, right?
So backwards, you still have your bow.
Yeah, I still have it
You have it
knocked.
knocked with an arrow. Okay. So yeah, you have the bow, and then you step backwards, and then remembering so much, you're stepping backwards, still looking in that direction. Oh man, there was a loose plank, and you just slide your foot right over it and just keep going. Don't notice anything. Nothing seems to change over there.
Okay. So I get back and and I point towards like a thicket of trees or something where I saw the movement.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's a berm over there where it's a small low hill, and yeah, definitely on the other side there were some shrubs, and one of the shrubs just moved.
Yeah, you
as
said I
it-
saw someone leaning against a.
You didn't see somebody leaning, but yeah, it was like there. It would look like somebody had been leaning up against it, and it moved.
Right.
Just that one shrub.
Okay. So I point towards it and say, "Pardon me. There's someone over there watching. Now I don't know if they're trying to ambush us or someone's just trying to keep an eye out, but random burnt wagons drawing attention of folks, and then someone watching. That doesn't seem like good
All suspicious. Right.
situation to me. What is that, Master Dwarf? What you got?
So my first intuition is that we should fucking leave this place and go cross the river someplace else. Second choice is let me cross.
Well,
Were
I
there
mean,
any bodies or anything near the wagons?
no, I didn't see any bodies. I didn't see any signs of.
Is there evidence of a
combat.
crime?
No, I didn't see any signs of no bloodshed, no
Property,
items laying
right?
about.
Yeah,
nothing like that.
someone's property was burned, but could have been burned by their own people.
Hey, it wasn't that cold last night. But
I could go talk to them.
no, I don't
Stay put,
necessarily see
Barmin,
a
stay
reason
put.
for us to go over
Sit
and
down,
we,
Barmin.
as far as I'm concerned, we got two options. We can
Besides
try to
the two
move
I said.
past them. I have three options, I guess. We can try to sneak past them. We can just walk normal like. I mean, just get your weapons on your hips, put them on that side of them, make us seem like we're not a target to be messed with, and they just ignore us. We ignore them, move on about our business. Or we head up this damn river, lose a day, and go get our feet wet going through some mud getting across it.
Let's cross and
I don't care much. This is I kind of nod towards Able. It seems to be your show. I'm happy to take whatever angle you want to take on it, but I mean, they don't have any reason necessarily. We got the entire lake on our right-hand side. What are they gonna do? Drive us into the water? Just put your weapons on the left.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move in force. Weapons visible.
I would just say I may be able to talk to them. I'm just saying. I would walk in front if you wanted me to, Judge.
Present a smaller target.
Hey, I got a small target for you hanging, and it's a pretty big target if you know what I
I
mean.
found you hanging.
I can't hit the back of a tuna can, but I can fill one up if you know what I mean.
Stop, Ryan.
All right. So get your. I mean, like
Everybody get your war face on.
get your war face on. We're. All right. Just remember, walk confidently.
I literally.
Walk like you belong.
We can see the copse of woods or the bush or whatever from where we are.
When
The
you
berm.
you can see where he's pointing to. You can't see it as well as when he was when he was over there. But you know, in the area in which he was saying yes, he definitely points to the area, and you're like, okay, I know that's where I'm supposed to be looking for sure.
Okay, well then I tell him we'll keep an eye on that. You watch everywhere else.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay. So as a group, you want to walk?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Barmin, if you want to try to converse with people, feel free to lead the way.
All right. I don't want to have anything in my hands, so I throw my halberd in the water.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Like while walking across the bridge.
Nope.
Okay. The group begins to walking. You go walking towards on the bridge. You go up the ramp, and as you make it onto the planks themselves, you guys are all walking. A group of people comes walking out from that area, and they stand at the foot of the bridge. There's about 8 of them. They're skinny humans. They kind of have their faces covered. Most of them have slings. Is everybody frozen, or can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay.
No, we're just scared as shit.
Most of them have slings, and they're kind of standing across the line. And then one guy that's back over close to where that bush was, he stands up, and you can see that he's just got a crossbow. And he says, "This here's our bridge. You're going to have to pay us to cross. And we'll pick it up there next time."
Oh.
Yeah.
Part 1 first. Well done for cutting that early. That is not typical Matt fashion. Matt fashion is like, it's 3 a.m., but I'm almost finished. Well done. Well
Yeah.
done.
It's just like that.
Yeah, and that fashion is actually just like that.
So there we go.
Man. Okay. Oh, God.
Hey, we didn't die in session 1.
We didn't die in session 1.
I got
Folkher
5
survived the
eggs.
bridge.
I got 5 eggs. It's like a talk box. I got 5 eggs.
I have eggs.
Oh, jeez. How many
I
people?
don't have a
There,
goblin head anymore. That's cool.
There were 8 people plus the guy in the berm.
Yeah, plus the guy in Berm.
Well, at least it's not dogs.
yeah. These is not dogs. 8 folks plus Berm.
And the berm guy's got an actual crossbow.
As a crossbow.
His name is Berm.
His name is Berm. So
Ned Bermy.
Bermy.
Ned Bermy. So what I think I might do is I may do like an introduction to the game. Like, I feel like we jumped into it pretty cold. If anybody has like a description of their character, like just like what they look like or whatever, we might put that together.
Before you end the stream, have you already ended the stream?
Am I what?
Have you already ended the stream?
I have not. Should I? Should I end the stream now?
Well, if we were gonna do a description of our characters, do you want? We can do that right now.
Because I'm gonna cut it on at least for the audio podcast or whatever, and just have it so that when people start it, they can see it. So maybe we'll end the stream right now.
Was there anybody actually watching the stream?
We had like 5 folks.
Soul would like descriptions of our characters before we end the stream.
Yeah, we've got a few people that have been watching the entire time.
I don't know if Andy's still there. It
Andy
depends.
was still, he's still been popping up.
It's
Well,
interesting.
then also if you do it on the stream and have the
I think that's
audio
funny if they
and whatnot,
pop
you
up.
can
They're
do
like,
audio.
"Oh, is this interesting yet?" Nope.
No, they're all playing video games
hey,
with it in
is
the
it? Oh,
background.
no.
That's what's happening. Everybody knows that.
Nope.
Okay, so let's just go.
Not
so,
mention class, right? Are we still keeping that?
No, we can mention class. That's fine.
I think
whatever.
Dover doesn't want to know.
I
I
think
don't
it's
wanna
better
know.
to leave it as is.
I don't give a flying shit. I don't want to know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no class. We'll just do descriptions. So Matt, you go first.
I am God and everybody.
I am God.
Hi, my name is Matt, a longtime listener, first time caller.
In every dark corner, I am there.
I hear all your
I
prayers.
th-
I
I-
answer each of them.
I think that I'm eloquent, but I stutter a lot. Anyway, that's it.
Neither of those are true.
You both don't think you're eloquent, and you
Right.
don't.
Dover, go for it. We're just gonna go counterclockwise.
Hey, that works for me. Dover. So I'm playing a woodsman, a human, He's got unkempt brown hair coming down to about his shoulders. He has no facial hair. He actually keeps himself clean shaven. His clothes he takes decent care of, but you can tell they're all kind of tattered and worn. They're just old. Just at one point in time, someone might have called the tunic white, and the just brown traveling pants and boots, and then a travel pack he's always got slung over his shoulder. He always has a quiver and bow quick at hand, and you've noticed if anyone's looking at him, he has a very interesting club of sorts that is on his belt. It's actually called a rungu. It's a throwing club, but it's a little unusual. It doesn't look like anything, at least from anyone who's this part of the country has ever seen.
So yeah, Emma, what's up?
Emma, or Dandy. I'm playing Honoa Summoner, a human woman, female, young. She's kind of young. Her skin is rather pale. She's got darker circles under her eyes. Her eyes are green. She has dark brown hair, almost black. It's streaked a bit with like some lighter color, some highlight. She's wearing a very cute but kind of old looking a cloak. It's green. It's got little soft pink flowers on it. She cares for it, but it's seen some days. She has a backpack that clearly she had a goblin head in for a bit. That was fun. I guess cut that from the starting thing. Because I'd be surprised. She carries a backpack, some side pouches. There really isn't much on her. She, other than the cloak, like everything else is a little unassuming about her. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that's me. I am playing Barmin Horn. He is a older dwarven fellow. He is like roughly like 180 years old, and looks at the clothes he wears. He wears like what were at one point like very bright purple colors that over the past probably like 2 or 3 decades have faded a bit. There's patches on the arms and the knees, and it looks like he's probably trying to hold on to a little bit of that grandiose nature of the clothing. Does wear a kind of like red silk scarf around his neck. For what reason, we won't say until we get into the stream if we're doing that whole reversey thing. But it's literally just covering like rope burns. But he does not wear a stitch of armor. He does not carry a single weapon until I guess he picked up a shield and a halberd that he threw into the river.
And 3 warhammers.
And 3 warhammers.
And 3 warhammers.
Meaning, so you're exactly the opposite. You have the most weapons.
Well, I mean, I mean, you do know I'm about to like give these to these folks on the bridge, right? Like I'm about to be like, hey, have these hammers.
Brain me with these.
He does have this one thing on his belt, which is it's called a dwarven hald. It's like a little hand pickaxe, like a little pick hammer, but it's more of like a utility thing. It's more used for like, tools and everyday usage. It's
Shaping rocks.
Shaping rocks, exactly.
Is it the type of thing that Morgan Freeman would look at it and say, takes someone 20 years?
I was going to say, you could tell a lot of there, but it'd take you 20 years.
Guys, don't give away my character plot line, but okay, sure. But yeah, that's me. Just like this old coward dwarf, but whatever. Able, what you got?
My name's Mac. I'm playing Able Smith. Mid-20s, average height, brown hair, blue eyes. Pretty just unassuming athletically. Pretty weak all around.
Code for stats.
It's not code. I mean, he doesn't look like much.
There is not a meathead in this group.
I play the start of this. I've been the justice of the peace for a while in this area. I preside over court cases, and now I'm on a mission, I guess. So that's me.
That was a dumb idea, but sure. We should have gone the other direction, just entirely like. Whatever.
Oh, I did.
Okay.
You're just dreaming. I'm still here.
It was all a dream. All right, on you. What you got?
My name is Angie. In certain circles, I go by Pantix. I play Anyu Meadowsword, who is a 19-year-old human. She's relatively tall. She's 5'5". She has kind of dark blue eyes, very pale ivory skin, very long blonde hair, light hair. Um, she's a little gaunt. She's a little, let's just say, perceptive right now. She's been traveling quite a while, so she's kind of just out to kind of find a way to keep going and keep doing what she needs to do.
So one of the things that that any person that's listening might not know is that if we're gonna play, if we're gonna do some game kind of stuff, that I made these guys roll 3d6 and roll them, and then those were the stats. So that's when they talk about how hard this might be, and then how poor their stats are, and how their rolls, they went straight 3d6, and they got to roll one set, and if they liked it, they kept it, and if they didn't, they rolled one other set, and then they had to keep that. So they're it was done on purpose because it's a type of game that I like to run, but they're handicapped from what you'd think normally of a first level AD&D character would be. So they've got some obstacles to overcome.
Yeah, we're not just bad players.
Rules of Attrition is not a clever name.
It's the truth.
I thought it was.
I mean, it's a clever name.
Not just. Not just.
Like the shitty Beatles. Okay. All right. Well, then I'm going to cut this, and we'll be back, I guess. And the best part is next Sunday we'll start at a regular time, hopefully, because we won't have all this issue.
If you don't fuck with your computer.
I'm just gonna leave it on. The stream's gonna keep going for the next 8 days, and we'll catch back up to it. But okay. All right.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Indeed.
Thank you, stream.
Thank you.
We're gonna get better.
Maybe.
Don't promise things we don't.
I'm not gonna get better.